Welcome back. So when you work for Microsoft, they don't want you to call it the blue screen of death. So I don't want you to call it, but my computer just gave me the blue screen of death. So I'm trying this video again. I did some cleanup on my computer. If I get blue screen of death again, then I'll go off and grab my other computer because the entertainment guy hasn't been making videos lately. Anyways, it's lazy. And yeah, so I was almost done this review. Here we are. Blue screen of death took care of that. So, all right. Tampa Bay tonight did not play their best game. Montreal did. And the score doesn't favor Montreal. Now, it's easy to look at Vasilevsky and say, you know what? He gets those great stats, but look at the team in front of him. I don't think the team in front of him had a great game tonight. I think through 40 minutes tonight, this rightfully should have been Montreal's game, but Stanley Cup champions will win games like this. Stanley Cup champions will frustrate the other team, the other fan base, and just neutrals watching at home. They're like, how are they up? Every Stanley Cup champion has those games. So tonight, it's Tampa's turn. Carey Price coming into tonight after losing in these playoffs 3-0 and the game after a loss. So that changes tonight. At least in his last three or on the road. All right. Anyway, Hab turnovers in the first 30 seconds, one of them by Carey Price, tells you the dominant storyline of this game will be puck control. And it's weird because Montreal had a very good first 40 minutes, but the puck control, when those turnovers would take place, Tampa is just, they're fantastic at taking control of a game off of very few opportunities. Chernak misses one wide. Perry had a net drive. That was defended. I thought Corey Perry had a very good game. Suzuki with a break. Vasilevsky makes the saves. And then Point misses one high. Strong forecheck by Tampa Bay. Price saves through traffic. We also got some really good line matching from both coaches. Again, Luke Richardson has accomplished a lot in these playoffs in proving that people like myself who've been really hoping he'll get a head coaching job in the NHL, he is absolutely capable of doing this job. He's doing very well against a Tampa Bay team that it looks about as close to unstoppable as a team does in these playoffs. So Point had a wraparound attempt that actually draws a power play for Tampa. But aggressive Habs penalty kill limits them to no shots. So Point draws the power play, but no shots during that power play for Tampa. Toffoli then had a chance, was stopped. Gaudreau blocks a Caulfield shot. The shots were only 2-2 at 9 minutes, but Montreal was already playing a much better game than they did in Game 1. And again, they just have to kind of keep playing this way and hope for a win. I said that after losses to Vegas. The problem is being down 2-0 against Tampa is quite different than being 1-1 in a series with the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Price then with a giveaway. That leads to some pressure for the Bolts. They end up with a power play out of it. And that's the second giveaway for Price already. Dangerous power play right off that opening faceoff. Lehkonen would clear it out. Kucherov had a shot that was stopped. There were two shots on that power play. I think both of them were by Kucherov. Not much room in the middle for either team. Strong board play by the Habs. The Habs would ice it. Keep an eye on those faceoffs in their own zone. Wasn't as much of a storyline tonight as turnovers. Toffoli with a fast break. Vasilevsky makes the save. Kucherov had a chance the other way. And then it's Suzuki that had a break. That was saved. And the game was really opening up late. We were seeing chances for both teams, which favors Tampa, right? They have the better overall talent level. They're the better overall team. It favors them if the game really starts to open up and we're seeing chances both ways. The Habs, shot blocking. With 2:33 left, we get 2 minutes of 4-on-4, or so we thought we would. 5 seconds later, we end up with the Habs with a 4-on-3, and it's a 4-minute high stick. So to me, part of what decides this game is this 4-minute penalty not being a successful power play for the Montreal Canadiens. Toffoli deflects one wide. Gaudreau clears it out. Suzuki had a shot that was saved. Bolts clear it. Kotkaniemi had a shot that was saved. We then get a shorthanded chance for Cirelli. That ends up going out of play. So it rolls over into the second. Second period, Perry and Suzuki. unable to bury one. Gustafsson had a shot that was blocked. So the Bolts kill all this off. We end up with 2 shots on the second part of the power play for Montreal. So it is 2 power plays because it's a double minor. And yeah, Montreal comes out with a goose egg for it. Colton wasn't on the Bolts bench, and he was coming and going in that second period. Habs turnovers again. Shots, though, favored the Habs. Just the chances. Kind of risky ones when Tampa got them. Colton returns to the bench. We then get a glove save on a Chernak shot. Pressed by the Habs at 5.5 minutes. A lot of one and done, though, for both teams. And Tampa did not get a solid press in this game. They really, really didn't. Now, where the one and done narrative changes is when the Bolts do get some pressure and it ends up in the back of the net. It's Cirelli from Johnson and Ruda at 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Strong cycle play, traffic, deflections. Price didn't see it. I don't think he had a great chance on it. And after they were talking about whether or not he should have saved that, which, all right, that's fine. We would have that discussion with both goaltenders before this period was done. The goal boosted the energy for Tampa Bay. Absolutely did. Big shot blocked by Johnson. Stahl then had one that was saved. Sergachev decked Lehkonen, but that ends up with a Habs power play. And it was a dangerous hit by Sergachev. He is not going to be a popular player with Montreal fans right now. And understandable. He has a few times in this series now done something that I'm like, man, if that was against Vancouver or Boston, I might not be a happy camp. But again, you know, you take your deep breath, you do your review, and you don't worry about it. But again, you know, that was one of those plays. So that's power play for Montreal with Lehkonen going off to the room because, you know, that's a dangerous hit. You want to get him taken a look at. Power play goal by Suzuki follows at 10:36. So Montreal makes them pay for their sins on that one. The goal goes 5-hole. Ref, you suck chance start up. Not sure why, because that was a legit penalty. Sherratt then with a chance. Toe save by Vasi, who looked a little bit shaky there. The Habs press with 8 minutes left. The Bolts ice the puck. Stahl then had a chance on a 2-on-1. Vasilevsky makes the save there. Lots of pressure for the Habs. Fourth line chances happening. The Bolts finally clear it out. But with 6 minutes left in the second period, the shots are 14-2 in favor of Montreal. Bolts, you know, really, really pinned down in this period. Caulfield had a chance. He fires one wide. Anderson with a break. Vasilevsky makes the save. Petrie then had a chance that was saved. Again, Vasilevsky I thought was very good in the first 40 minutes. We can talk about, and we'll talk about the third period, but I honestly think Vasilevsky has an excellent chance of the Conn Smythe. He has to. Absolutely has to have an excellent chance of the Conn Smythe right now. He was the one keeping it tied at this stage of the game. 3:22 left. The Bolts get a power play. And we end up with another Price turnover during that. Habs recover it, but it's a bit of a hairy situation. The Bolts get 4 shots during that power play, but they don't score on it. They actually had an offer on the power play tonight. Armia had a net drive after the PK ends, and you're looking at this period if you're Montreal in the last minute and saying, we're doing pretty well. If we can keep this tied going into the third. Coleman, 1 second left in the period. Puck goes in the net. Goudreau, McDonough with the assists. Almost said Monahan. McDonough with the assist. Dano with the turnover that led to it. Now, it's not an egregious turnover by Dano, but it is a turnover. And Coleman puts it in the back of the net. Bolts sees the lead going into the third. That's when I put Tampa Bay leads 2-0 on the board, because I thought that kind of goal, that's the kind of goal that you get as a Stanley Cup champion that other teams don't get, that ends up being one of those things that wins you the game. And it was the game winner. Third period, Vasilevsky and Price both sharp early on. Both of them tested. Habs had outplayed the Bolts through 40 minutes, but they're down 2-1. Had to be very frustrating for them. Savard fires one high. Palat with a shot that was saved. Weber defends a Goudreau break. Price then denies Coleman. Lehkonen had a shot that was blocked. And the Bolts seem to be really locking it down in the third. So in the third, this is when we're back to Montreal has no business being in the middle of the ice. They can't get it there. Second period, there were opportunities in the middle of the ice. There were really good chances they were getting. And in that third, it just was not happening for them. Price denies Coleman. Lehkonen had a shot that was blocked. That's what I just read. Gustafsson with the turnover. See, I've gone through this board now. This is my second time going through the board. So, yeah. So, thanks, Blue Screen of Death. Gustafsson with the turnover. Bolts with a heavy forecheck, puck pressure. I thought Gustafsson had a rough night. And I'm sure somebody will say something about which hand they use, but I would have Romanov in the lineup instead of Gustafsson. I understand Gustafsson's there for the power play, but I would have Romanov out there. And I know that's me, but I would have him in the lineup. Kucherov with a fast break. Suzuki defends. Joseph with a shot. That's saved and held. Joseph was the beneficiary of Colton being in and out of the lineup in the second period and then in the third as well, because he was able to get a lot more ice time than he otherwise would have. I think he proved to Coach Cooper tonight he deserves to be in the lineup a bit here. So, yeah, Gallagher had a shot saved. He ends up taking Vasilevsky's stick after. So it was one of those things. I don't think the referee saw it. I don't see any reason to think the referee would have seen it because he would have called a penalty on it. But yeah, just, all right, take the shot. You save it, and your stick's in the corner, dude. I don't know what happened. I came by, and your stick's in the corner. Byron couldn't bury a rebound shortly after that. Sergachev denies a Suzuki net drive, and the clock's favoring the Bolts. We're into the second half of the third period. So Tampa Bay is definitely amping up the pressure and making sure that Montreal's not getting those really, really good opportunities. More blocks by Tampa. Habs forced to shoot from the outside. And then a turnover that is just, it's if we were comparing it to the Marc-Andre Fleury turnover that led to a goal, it's up there. It is absolutely up there. Where Edmondson with a blind back pass, terrible blind back pass. If he's looking for Petry's not there. That was terrible. But Palat was there, and he was happy to put it in the net at 15:42 to make it 3-1. So when you need your defense to lock it down, Edmondson, and it was, the funny thing is, the announcers were even like, well, was Palat calling for the puck? I'm fine with that when players do that. I personally, I think that's great. I mean, I don't know anybody who hasn't, even just playing regular street hockey. Oh, the other team's got it. Tap your stick. Oh, they passed it to me. Thanks. It's not supposed to happen in the NHL. It's not supposed to happen in the National Hockey League. So I don't know that Palat necessarily called for it. I think Edmondson just blew the pass. I think it just didn't go where he wanted it to. And that really took the air out of whatever wind in the sails Montreal might have had. That does it. So things get pushy with 3:14 left. Again, you can see Montreal getting frustrated. Anderson with a tip, that saved. Vasilevsky, Vasilevsky, likely the Conn Smythe winner. Goaltender gets pulled with 2 minutes left. Vasilevsky holds on as Perry was net crashing. With 46.7 left, Bolts ice the puck. But again, you're up by 2. Icing isn't a big deal. Things get scrappy at the horn. I guess we could talk about how there's message sending, but not really. This was just a frustrating end for Montreal, who outshot them the whole way. 13-6 in the first, 16-7 in the second, and 14-10 in the third. The final shots are 43-23 for Montreal. Power plays 1 for 3 for the Habs, 0 for 3 for Tampa. So no goals, 5-on-5 for Montreal. Hits 40-35 for Tampa. So the hits went from 115 in the first game to 75 in the second, which is pretty standard for these playoffs. You see a ton of hits in the first game, and then it just sort of ramps down a bit. Block shots 14-10 for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Price saves 20 out of 23. His save percentage has not been good through the first 2 games. A lot of that has to do with the shot selection by Tampa. They are doing very well at getting the right shots on net, and they go in. Vasilevsky saves 42 out of 43. That says 41 out of 42. It should say 42 out of 43. And again, we can debate about how tough those shots were. In the third period, sure. But those 29 in the first 2 periods, some of those were very good chances. And Vasilevsky, full value for the win. Tampa Bay's up 2-0. There's always that time where that Cinderella team, they usually aren't the cup winner at the end of it, which is why cheering for underdogs, as I often do, can be a painful experience, because they're underdogs for a reason. You know, the better team in this series is Tampa. They were not. I don't think they were the better team for most of this game tonight, but they were opportunistic. Turnover, strong cycle on this one. This one, I believe that was a turnover that caused that cycle. And then here you have a Deno turnover that ends up in the net with 1 second left in the second period. Tampa Bay does not have to be given a lot of daylight because they know that at the end of it, this is waiting for them, and they're very anxious to get this, and they may be 2 games away. So we'll see. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. This is just a 14-inch Stanley Cup you can get off Amazon for like $79.95. I just thought it was fun to have it. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.